Hi, I'm Kim Beaton, the Creative Director at Pal Tiya International. A few years ago, we did a couple of videos as part of a garden fairy project. Since then, we've had many people asking us what happened to Part 3. We're back with the third part and also a bonus for you. Over the last few years, we've managed to find easier ways to achieve the great effects you're looking for with Pal Tiya Premium. In today's video, we're not only showing you the body of the garden fairy, but also an easier method for making the hands. You'll find a list of tools in the description for this video. A character this compelling and interesting can take a few days, from making the hands to completing the clothing. Prepare for a journey to create some real magic. To begin, the hands and face must be done first. This gray clay is a simple craft-grade plasticine. With a hoop tool, deeply carve the impression of a hand. Trim off the excess clay. Choose a simple hand position and press the clay into a fluffy foil ball to support. Half a cup of premium will make 4 hands. Roll out tiny snakes of Pal Tiya Premium. For an internal armature wire, cut a 6-inch or 15mm length very thin 22-gauge wire and bend a loop into the middle of it. Place the loop on top. Lay a slender snake on the first finger position and mark where the knuckles go. To form the knuckles, bend a 14-gauge wire into a U shape and secure it to a table. Place the finger with the knuckle mark directly over the wire. Using your fingers, compress the snake inwards from 4 directions over the wire. This pillows up like a knuckle. Place this first finger into the groove and stitch it into the palm. Mark the knuckles on the next finger and build the remaining digits and thumb, stitching each one in place. Lift the tips of the fingers to a gentle arc. Snip and Trowel Premium to fill in between the larger knuckles on the hand. With a brûlée torch, burn away the unnecessary fibers. Cure overnight in plastic. Cure and strengthen a minimum of 3 days before adding to your figure. Our prior video shows how to make a small face, but we've made some small improvements since then. Use a triangular cardboard core covered with foil instead of a round one. It's more stable. Build out a very simple skull by hot gluing foil to the core. A skull this big will become a face this large. Now, on to making the body. With using a wire spool, this is how they dispense wire without binding. We recommend making your first figure about 20 inches or 50mm high. Check out this video to see how to draw a simple proportional human figure. Bend the 14-gauge wire into the shape following the drawing as a guide. Twist the spine region together. Once together, twist the neck and the head wire onto the spine. Attach the end of a thinner 22-gauge wire onto the spine and wrap it tightly outwards. Space the loops about 1/4 inch or 6mm apart. Bend the limbs into nice, subtle curves to match the organic lines of the human form. Crumple and glue small foil balls and cigar shapes onto the armature. Fill out the form into a slender figure. Remove the now strengthened hands from the clay. Wire them into position at the wrist. Place the head and secure it with more foil and hot glue. Position this figure into an interesting pose and then check this pose in a desirable location. Returning inside, coat the foil armature with 1/8 inch or 3mm layer of Pal Tiya Premium. This extremely thin layer will monolithically bind all the subsequent layers and pieces together. Allow the neck and the wrists to remain smooth. All the other areas, scratch and furrow coat with a fork, exposing a lot of fibers. This aggressive texture is easy to add more premium to. Wrap in plastic to cure for a few days to strengthen. To apply clothing, position the figure so the arms and legs are accessible. Begin at the feet and work upwards. This layers the bottommost clothing under the rest of it. Coat both legs from the toes to the hip with a very thin layer of Pal Tiya Premium, about 1/8 of an inch, or 3 mil. Add daubs of premium to fill out the anatomy of the figure into nice round shapes. Apply a dry burlap piece onto the foot and shape the foot through the burlap. This softens the forms into nicely rounded natural surfaces and leaves a good texture. Apply to the calf and then to the thigh, shaping each area to a finish. Draw in folds of fabric at the knees and ankles and re-soften with burlap. Draw in the stitching lines on the side of the legs. Cover the chest with a thin layer of Pal Tiya Premium, leaving the wrists and neck clear. Roll out tiny snakes and loop around the wrists to create cuffs. Stitch this down. Create the neckline of the shirt in the same way. Add belts and other clothing details, including the lower hem of the shirt. Apply the burlap to soften these surfaces. This is when your figure comes alive. Take the time to enjoy this process. Guide and improve the clothing into something fun and remarkable. Make sure to stitch down all the extras to survive any freezing weather. Wrap for further curing and strengthening. In a day or so, when the front is firm enough, build out the back of the figure to a finish. Our character is suffering from an excess of baldness, so the last final touch is the addition of a hat and a feather. A character this excellent takes time, and it's worth it. If you want your garden to be inhabited by truly magical people, this is the way to do it. Painting will add the finishing touch to make this character real. After 30 days of curing, seal your sculpture with a matte concrete sealant. This will protect the paint you've applied and keep your sculpture looking fresh for years. To all those who enjoy the mythical realms, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this video and feel inspired to go out and make your own great creations. If you want to see more content like this, then please like, share, and comment below. Don't forget to check out our many other videos. Thank you.